All right, welcome everybody out to podcast number 429. We've got Effie, Lee, Schroeder back there. Say hi.
Good morning.
And we've got Brandon. What's your middle name?
Renee.
Brandon. I know that because I always schedule your plane flights. Brandon Renee Montero with us. Say hi, Brandon.
Good morning.
And me, Jason Schroeder. And we're going to talk to you today about how creating capacity brings excellence in your personal life, in your position, in your career. Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome, everybody. I hope you're doing well. We are at Brandon and Effie and I are having a good time, and we're going to record this little podcast for you this morning. And we're getting ready to do some pretty cool things today. So I'm excited about our topic. Yesterday, Brandon and I were talking about some really cool people that we both know. I'm not going to tell you who they are, but how they've gotten so over capacity, or how would you say that? Overburdened in their role that they've settled into a marginal kind of a level of performance, and how that happens to us sometimes. And so this concept of capability, which Adam Hoots always talks about, and then capacity, meaning do we have the capacity to improve, to be happy, to reflect, and to do these things. This has been on my mind. But real quick, just to kick everybody off, I'm going to ask everybody in the car. Oh, by the way, we're in the car. I'm sorry, everybody, but hey, we're doing our best. So I'm going to ask everybody how they're doing. So Effie, give us an update that people will want to listen to. Kick us off. Tell us how you're doing.
I'm really good. The hotel was good, and I am ready for the day after nap.
Tell us about Mexico.
Oh my goodness. Mexico was so good. The guacamole was good. It was very fun.
What was your favorite part?
The horchata.
Horchata?
Yeah.
And wasn't the hotel, that was the best hotel we've ever been to.
Oh my goodness.
And
yes.
super hospitable. I don't know if we told anybody, but Elisa and Andres, they picked us up from the airport. They took care of us. They helped us get checked. They helped us get checked in. They helped us get our COVID test set up for the room. Everything, just anything that we needed. I'm sure all of Mexico is like that, but they were the most hospitable people I've ever been around. Anything that you noticed, Effie, that you super loved about Mexico?
Just that everyone was like very friendly and like relaxed looking. Like in America, everyone's pretty uptight usually, and in Mexico, it was not quite the same.
I thought it was funny, and I don't know, then this is not an insult, this is kind of funny more than anything. So we were supposed to start the event at 8, and 8:15 rolls around, and like half of the people still aren't there, and they come into the room rolling in with a smile just a little bit late, and I'm like, man, this is definitely more of a laid back feel than what I'm used to. And but they were super good natured. You know, one of the things that I noticed, and I think you'll find this interesting, Brandon, when I did, and because you've done international travel, when I did a training in Norway, they were really sharp with technology, really humble and open, and were thankful to be learning some new things. And the same in Mexico. They were really fast getting on the technology. They are already used to using programs like Mural and WhatsApp and just getting online and doing those things. And they were super humble and open. And I thought, speaking and teaching internationally is kind of fun. So, Mr. Montero, tell us how you're doing. Give us an update.
I'm doing great this morning. Always looking forward to being at the boot camps. I find them energizing for me because I know that my best is about to be required, and I like that feeling. It gets me mentally prepared, but it also gets me in a state where I get to question whether I'm doing all the things I want to do for me to be able to show up at my best.
I like that. And for me, an update for me. I really enjoyed going to Mexico with Effie, doing that workshop down there next to Felipe. Felipe engineer was doing a Scrum class next door, and I'm really excited about the training that we're doing this week. And then next week I head to Illinois and do a capstone event for some superintendents. And we're going to close out the year strong. And then December, mostly Elevate, what we're going to focus on is the website realignment, expanding some of our services, and really focusing on some construction administration, working directly with some key projects. And so I'm doing well. I actually didn't fall asleep till 2 a.m., but I feel kind of refreshed because instead of stressing about it, I just sat back and was like, this is probably just as good as sleep to my body. So I decided that I was going to be rested. I don't know if that's how that works, but that's what I did either way. So before we get into our topic, has there been I'm going to put you on the spot, Brandon. What's been on your mind lately that you've been pondering and thinking about? You're always thinking about and improving yourself. So what's been on your mind lately?
Yeah, that's a good on the spot one.
Yeah.
It's really important to me to surround myself with people that help me grow. So I do consider that metric sometimes, whether I am giving good feedback to my friends and helping them grow, and creating an environment so that they can do the same for me, or whether I'm just kind of, accepting the day by day, and not speaking up, because then my friends will do the same for me in that regard as well. So I like to help create that environment, for me. And from a primary job standpoint, I'm kind of in that boat of where I feel the pressure of additional tasks or additional requirements creeping up. And so possibly part of what sparked this conversation is thinking about some of the ways that I'm trying to keep that, or not trying, but keeping that workload clear and making sure that I can keep my eye on my primary responsibilities. So just some of those things floating around for me.
Yeah. I can attest once and Effie can QC me back there and see if I'm lying. But when we got off the airport, Mr. Montero here was like, this is something you do when things get hard, and I think you could do better by, and ... He gave me some suggestions, and I was like, thank you. Like, this is the first time somebody's given me feedback, like, in a long time, and here we are 10 minutes away from the airport, and I have already got feedback from a good friend. So definitely that's a gift. So, Brandon, this is what's been on my mind. Yesterday, we were talking about some cool people and how they had begun some really neat efforts. And I'd like to ask you your observations and see if there's anything you would add to it. And they have been put in a position, and nobody knows what company we're talking about. Don't even try and guess. Even if you think you got it, you don't have it. Brandon and I know lots of different people and lots of different companies, but these were some cool people that had begun an improvement effort, and it's kind of stagnated. No, it's definitely stagnated. They've gone into a mode of marginal results. So there's this world where, and there's this analogy, and I really like it, where when a plane encounters turbulence, they slow down. They don't go faster. If they get turbulence, the plane actually slows down to get through it. And if you hit, what do they call that, road? They're not road humps. They're speed bumps. You don't, well, if you're me, you speed up, but logical people don't speed up. They slow down to go over the speed bumps. So there's that concept that when we get a little bit over capacity, or when things are turbulent, we need to slow down. But there's also this need for constant excellence. And Brandon and I were lamenting the fact that since those folks' employers had overburdened them with work without the right support, their improvement efforts have dwindled. And it's a really sad deal because if they continued, who knows what kind of coolness they would be in right now. And he and I both agree on that. And so really the reflection this morning is, what do we think about that? Because that makes my mind feel, or that not, it doesn't make me feel. I've chosen to feel that capacity and stability are not only project concepts, but that we in our personal lives have to stabilize our life, create buffers in our own life, and have capacity in our own life to improve and to feel that energy and that excitement and everything else. What are your thoughts, Brendan? That's another put you on the spot. But what are your thoughts?
Well, a lot of the things that you're talking about are the mindset and the way that we organize or think about our workload and what we're going to do with it, what we need to preserve. I would say from a mindset standpoint, another thing to be wary of is our attitude regarding what we take on. Sometimes it's possible for us to hold on to work that we don't need to hold on to because we're not ready to delegate. We're not in a mindset in which it's comfortable for us to delegate. Maybe sometimes our ego says, I'm the only one that can do this. So thinking about that as well, how do we plan what it is that we'll delegate? How do we prioritize what we'll delegate? And so on, so that we're not holding on to extra work moving forward and creating additional tasks for ourselves that don't need to be there.
And that helps us to create that capacity, right? So I'd like us to go back and forth really quickly and just mention some things that we enjoy when we're not overburdened, you and me. So I'll give you one. When I'm not flying and away from family for a long time, and I'm deciding to be in a balance, which I have been, every morning I get up and I jog, and I feel great. And at the park, I will stop and do my meditation, my box breathing, and I will walk for a period without any notes or music or books, and I will reflect, and it will completely empty my mind, and I'll come back and kneel by the bed, say a prayer, and I will get the best and most calm insights, and it will set up the rest of the day to be amazing. That's one thing that I love to do when I have capacity. What's one thing you love to do?
I'm not good at slowing down and stopping activity myself. So from a decompress standpoint, I like to there's some different crafts that I'll do. I like to make custom frames, and I like to refinish furniture and make it more suitable, make gifts for friends, just different things that make it look aesthetically pleasing to me. So I'll work on things like that when I actually have some decent downtime and just kind of getting into the mode of, is this turning out the way I want? Is it perfect? What can be better? What would make it look better? Focusing on those things helps me decompress, helps my mind just kind of get to a good place where there's only one thing to worry about. And that feels like relaxation to me. So I really enjoy it.
I love that. Effie, you want to get in on this? What do you do when you have the capacity that you love to do that's therapeutic, that inspires you?
I like to play my ukulele or take a nap or get in the shower and listen to One Republic.
Okay, yeah, I love that. So the ukulele, I love that. And music is so, it's just like, well, not just like, but it's in the category of refinishing furniture. It's artistic and it's rejuvenating and it allows you to focus and it's therapeutic. I love that. One thing that I like to do, which sounds really silly, but I like it. I use my, whoa. I use Apple Notes a lot. And I'll go back through all of my notes and clean them up and be like, oh, that's what I was doing with that. And I'll get an inspired idea and put that on my list. Or I'll go back through flagged emails, or I'll check through files and just like check back in with myself a month ago to see if there's any little bit of inspiration or insights that I hadn't acted on. And it just gives me time to recenter and recheck. And it's like, okay, now I know that everything's present where I need it to be. Do you want to go? Let's do one more round. Go ahead, Brandon. One more. You're like, I don't do anything else.
I was like, how come Jason gets 2 and I only got 1? Well, I like spending time with my friends and family, or the people that are important to me. I really appreciate and enjoy getting to know people, getting to understand them deeper. So just having that time to sit down and have really stimulating conversation, asking the tough questions. How are people really doing? What are they really like? What are they really made out of? That kind of, I guess, relaxation, camaraderie, and building relationships is super important to me.
I love that. And I'm going to steal a third one. So if you want a third one, you get your own third one. I like to have thinking time. And I love the way that Keith Cunningham put it in his book, The Road Less Stupid. It's a great book where he talks about thinking time, where you have a half hour to just think and to solve a problem and to write down your notes and your insights and your inspiration. I remember one time Katie had bought a ticket. I think that's what or a permit, whatever you call it, to go out and murder a Christmas tree up in the northern Arizona, and they have these spots picked out. And so the kids and I went out with axes and pitchforks and all kinds of stuff to absolutely ruthlessly murder a Christmas tree, a live, living Christmas tree. I'm just kidding. And we went out and we murdered that thing and brought it back and enjoyed it selfishly in December to make Christmas better. Anyway, on the way up, Katie was doing some stuff and the kids were, I think they were kind of nappy, but it was really quiet. And I kept saying, oh, and Effie, you can attest to this. I'm like, will you please send me an email? Will you please send me an email? Because I'm driving, so I can't take the note. So they'll send me reminders. I ended up with like 35 massive ideas for how to move work forward, business, and to take care of customers. I love thinking time. Do you want a third one or are you good?
No, I can't get the image of that poor tree's children just alone there in the woods. So I'm thinking about that right now. I'll pass on the third one.
No, hey, that tree, the death of that tree brought me joy. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying it was cold-blooded murder. So, so when we think about, okay, so scheduling, right? Kingman's formula says that whatever your cycle time is for an activity within a time duration, it's not just that cycle time. It's your cycle time plus the time that you need to absorb variation, plus the time that you need for the task because you might be overburdened, because you might be overutilized. And so if you have drywall installation in a 10,000 square foot area in a week, you better have enough people to get it done in 4.5 days. It better not be 5, because something's going to happen to make it 5.5 or 6, and then you're working Saturday. You have to have buffers, or else you're going to get in trouble. The same message for us is what this podcast is all about, in my opinion. We have to have buffers, because those buffers allow us to have the thinking time, allow us to have the exercise, allow us to have the therapeutic moments, the artistic times, the time with family, all of the things that we mentioned, and that brings health. And one of the things that Brandon was talking about is I was like reporting to him on how I'm doing. I said, I'm exercising, I'm taking care of my health, I'm donating blood, I'm chilling with my naturopath, there's one thing, I'm still not eating great. I'm eating okay, but I'm not eating great. And you had made a comment that sometimes when we feel a little stressed, we get into those cycles where we just need a little, what do you want to call it?
Well, sometimes we'll take that easiest option because in our mind, it takes the least amount of time from a nutrition standpoint too. hey, this fast food restaurant is on the way to in between A and B. And so it looks like a great option.
Yeah, I think that's great. So I'll give a closing message, and I want you to give as many messages as you want. If you're a project manager, a director, superintendent, foreman, whatever your position is in construction, or anybody anywhere, the question I have for you, are you at your best? Is your energy high? And I'm not saying that mine is. I'm saying I have to assess, and I'm working on getting mine better. But let me ask you these questions. Are you at your best? Is your energy high? Are you delivering in remarkable ways? Are you continuing your improvement efforts? And are you excited? If you're not feeling excited and on fire and on a mission, then perhaps there's some motivation, excitement, and capacity that will allow you to read those good books and do those good things and be around those good people and receive that good revelation and get those good insights and feel that way and meditate and exercise and eat right, that will allow you to go show up as close to 100% as possible. So the question I have is, are you creating buffers in your life so that you can be remarkable? Brandon, what are your thoughts? What would you leave us with here?
I like the question when it's coming to how you delegate. Are the people that you delegate to doing currently what they can do or what they should do? Sometimes those should do items we're keeping for ourselves because we feel like they're not prepared or we feel like we're still the best suited. And so oftentimes, instead of taking the time to do those things ourselves and using that time on a consistent basis, if we take that time to teach the people who we delegate to or the people that are under our care more about a particular task, we can turn that item into something that they can do, and then it will be easier for us to turn it over. So I do like to ask myself that question when I'm taking on tasks. From a delegation standpoint, am I taking this on because I feel like they can't do it yet, even though they should? Then that creates a training priority on my part so that I can properly delegate and so that I can create that bandwidth and that buffer for myself as well.
I love that. So here's a challenge, everybody. Please go back and plan buffers into your week. If you're at 100% utilization, let's get you to 80 or 70%. You need time, and you need time to absorb variation. You need that thinking time. You need that exercise time. You need that meditation. You need that 10-minute break. I've said probably 10 times on this podcast, the U.S. military found out people can march, teams can march 50 to 100% farther if they get a 10-minute break every hour. And so here's the question. It's not when that people are farting around and goofing off in their day in and day out business when they take breaks. It's they're taking breaks, or they're taking thinking time, or they're reflecting so they can be better in the 50 minutes in that hour that they're working because they took that 10 minutes. So please go back to your calendar now, create buffers. Please don't over plan your weeks and your days. Please experiment with your thinking time, with your meditation, with those things that make you the best version of you so you can relive a remarkable life. Effie, anything you want to say before we cut this off?
You can't help people if you don't have the help you need, so take time for yourself.
I love it. All right, everybody, we know how this works. 1, 2, 3, on we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and